Here's the deal. I'm sitting here Saturday night, Max Donovan. I'm watching college football. I haven't been this excited about, Alabama, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, Miami, Auburn, and Georgia. I usually refrain from getting on kids.
You went on all SEC there.
Georgia should be ashamed of its damn self. The #1 team in the nation. Losing ain't no big deal. That happens, especially with kids. To get embarrassed like that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Nick Chubb, you big time. 27 yards. 27 yards rushing. Sony Michel, 21 yards rushing. This is arguably the best tandem running back in the nation. And you got a combined 48 yards rushing? That's just embarrassing. Kerryon Jones put on a show. He was balling. And then you got Miami. And this kid, Homer, was running all over them. And I'm looking at Notre Dame. For some reason, they on national TV all the damn time, all right? They elevated themselves after a horrid last year, and I like their coach. But after a horrid season last year, you're coming to this. You're the third-ranked team in the nation? And 41-8? Really? I was so disappointed. I was sitting there like this. My sister's like, Steve, she called me up there, because I wanted my lasagna, I'm supposed to go. Over there to get the lasagna,
Sister can cook some lasagna now.
Yes, she can. Carmen could throw down, baby. Carmen sitting up in there, and I was going over to the house to get some lasagna. I didn't want to leave because I thought I was going to miss some of the game and get stuck in traffic. It was the first quarter. I was like this. I'm on my way. This is just disgusting.
Yeah.
I could not believe how bad Notre Dame and Georgia, especially Georgia, y'all got stomped. Auburn gave it to you. Miami just overwhelmed Notre Dame.
So what's your ranking?
Alabama #1, without question.
Oh, yes, we know about your road tide. Go ahead.
I gotta put Miami up there at #2.
Yep.
And after Auburn performed the way it performed, I got to give them consideration. I can't ignore Wisconsin either.
Okay.
But I got to give love to Auburn based on what I saw them do to Georgia, unless Georgia is completely fraudulent and they need to be dropped out of the top 10 after a loss like that. We'll see what happens.
The answer is Alabama 1.
Yeah.
Miami 2.
Okay.
Yep.
And I got to say, Wisconsin, I thought how could they do anything because the schedule is so soft. Not their fault, but
True.
But they schedule soft. Clemson's in my top 4.
Gotcha. But they schedule soft, non-conference games early, and it's like the little trick you pull, right? If you're in a soft division, then you win those games, you win your division. If you win your conference title game, boom,
right.
You're in the playoff picture. I thought, well, it could have backfired on them because
Okay.
Ohio State and Penn State blow up, and all of a sudden, no matter what you do, you might not. But then Iowa beats Ohio State the way they did. Now the win against Iowa looks pretty good. And they're undefeated. And Oklahoma. I like Baker Mayfield is
He's
the
balling.
real.
Heisman Trophy.
He definitely is.
Leading
I want to say something about college football this year. I'm going to have a final take about this one of these days. As a consumer product, it is better than the NFL this year. It's better.
It's always been better.
No. I always resent when people say that because the NFL is played on such a higher level. But this year, it is just even the Auburn win. You got a running back called Kerryon Johnson.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
That's
out of Central Casting. And he could win the Heisman this year all of a sudden, right?
He wins the Heisman.
Because Saquon Barkley, all of a sudden, they're keying in on, they're stopping. And the dude
That's because nobody else in Penn State can step up.
Right.
A running back named Kerryon Johnson, who scores the upset for Auburn.
Ballin'.
College football has these kind of storylines this year. It's crazy every weekend. The action's been more consistently excellent than the NFL. You got to give it up.
Well, college football has always been exciting, and I say that because of the rivalries. We see all these rivalries each and every week. If it's Iowa State, or if it's Oklahoma State, or maybe if it's Alabama and Auburn in the Iron Bowl, whatever it may be. My top 4 would be Alabama #1, and I don't understand why they shouldn't have been #1 in the first place.
Right.
Everyone is tired of seeing Alabama. Number 2 is Miami.
Right.
Number 2 is Miami. A reason because they beat Virginia Tech while they were ranked. They beat the #3 ranked team in the country. The #2 team, Clemson, who was in the top 4. Lost to Syracuse, my Syracuse Orange, a couple weeks ago, and they kind of ran into a wall in that middle part. And I thought when they played NC State, that's when they regained their energy and regained things. But
no Donovan McNabb there. You can't
That's okay.
lose to
That's okay. We still beat Clemson.
That's not a real conference game. Come on. That's not like some old rivalry.
Number three to me will be Clemson, and number 4 will be Oklahoma. The reason that Oklahoma is number 4 because of Baker Mayfield. Everything that I've seen from that offense is outstanding. Defensively, they're terrible. But that's a lot of teams in the Big 12. You know, Oklahoma State offensively with Rudolph, what he's able to do, but their defense is awful. And so I look at Wisconsin being number 5, and the only reason they're number 5 is to wait for that Big Ten championship game, if whoever it may be, and they'll be able to prove themselves and get in the top 4. And number 6, I just think for number 6, it's one that's in question, but there are a lot of teams right now are fighting for that last part, but the top 4.
So Wisconsin
are
controls their own destiny.
They're controlling their own destiny.
I will say to you,
Oklahoma's the one that's kind of close.
A couple of things. Number one, I will never speak ill against the University of Syracuse as long as my man, Mr. John Wildtack, my former boss, is the AD there. I love
he's
that man.
He's doing a great job.
I love that man,
I do too.
and I love that man. So I will never speak ill of Syracuse, but I will say this: Alabama, Miami, Clemson, Oklahoma. That's where I'm at with it right now. Mayfield is just putting up spectacular numbers. Wisconsin, I would love to give them credit. I just don't see anybody on this.
No.
I agree with Donovan. I'm projecting forward. I agree with Donovan. It's maybe, even if you want to argue they're not in the top 4, fine, but they control their own destiny.
Yes.